morning. Okay.
You should probably think twice about having me on there then.
Oh yeah. Big sexy, little sexy.
Right.
Okay. Mike is here. I'm here. We just oops. Gosh darn it. Now I have like gifts popped up. I don't really know how to get out of this now. Okay. So I was trying to turn it around. Okay, so we just did the 3 minutes cold plunge. And how did it feel today, Mike?
It was extra cold today.
Felt extra cold to
Yeah,
me too.
a little extra cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think I woke up this morning not really wanting to do it. And then, we've got this kind of accountability chain going on here. So felt compelled to drive 40 minutes out here to see you.
To do something miserable.
Yeah. But, after the initial suck, you feel it. It feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think let's talk about, because Mike was telling me that he didn't know much about the vagus nerve. So I think this is a good conversation to have, because if you can explain what you've experienced over the last week of coming in, getting an hour worth of adjustments, like every 6 minutes getting adjusted, doing the cold plunge, and what does that feel like? And then I can correlate it to the neuroanatomy, because I get rambling on about stuff. And
right.
like people that have like sensory processing kiddos, or like
right.
people that have severe anxiety they've been dealing with it for years, they know the vagus nerve, because that's like the key to solving it. For people that don't, and I get talking ahead of myself often.
Right.
And no one wants to feel stupid being like, what are you talking about?
Right.
So I appreciate that you'd be like, I don't even know what you're saying. Right. Like Vegas, like where all the lights are? Like,
right.
What is this?
Right.
Okay, so what has it felt like so first of all, let's talk about what we talked about yesterday, which is the main draw that you had to do the total nervous system reset week. What was the main thing you were looking for?
Just something different, something new. And we talked about that, I think, yesterday or the day before, and just trying to come in and I've seen massage therapists, I've obviously seen doctors, chiropractors, etc., and then you reached out and you're like, hey, what's the one thing that you'd like to get? And I'm like, I'd really like some decompression, right? Yeah. And so I'd like to feel like that weight on my shoulders, and ultimately that kind of, my spine elongate a little bit, just feel a little bit freer. And I came in here, and the first day was skeptical, I'll say that. And then, I think, day 2 through like 5, 6, whatever day we're on right now, the benefits that I feel, I think there's more of a positive mindset even when I leave here. So I wake up.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
And is it because I'm coaching you through it or anything? Or?
I love you. I do. I don't know that that's the relationship we're gonna have.
No, and I don't want to be that for people, right?
Right. And
I don't like being that for myself. I don't want to be for other people.
I'd like to say it's like the Dr. Phil conversations we have, but it's not that either.
No.
It genuinely is it's knowing that you're making the decision to come in and do something that's uncomfortable to become comfortable. And so like I feel like, we come in here, I sit in that water. It sucks getting into the water. It sucks sitting in the water. Yeah. But after a couple of minutes, you're like, I can embrace this, and I can handle this, and I've overcome this. Yeah. And then immediately after that, you're like, okay, that's a challenge and an obstacle that I've overcome. Cool. And so everything else starts to get a little bit easier throughout the day. Right. And I'm so used to having high degrees of stress, pressure, tension, and letting that consume me. And so I'll leave here and just feel like this air of, I don't know if it's satisfaction, if it's optimism, if it's a combination of those things. Right. But I go home, and I was telling you, I was like, man, I was working till 1 a.m. Yeah. I've got this like huge deadline that I'm trying to hammer through. And normally, if I go to bed at 1 and I get up at 6:30, I'm dead. Right. But I went to bed at 1, got up at 6:30, got here, got in, and I'm pretty energized by it. Yeah. This is not a ton of substances going into my system. This is literally just reset. Okay, you're making a change, both mentally and physically. Yeah. And the physical change is being very uncomfortable in that cold water, and then coming out of that, getting into the hot tub for a couple of minutes, jumping up there, getting adjusted a couple of times, and then just learning to just let go. And so the release of all of that tension, that weight, and you hit me in a couple of spots with your actuator or whatever, where I feel my shoulders just like let go. Yeah. And that feeling of that let go is exactly what I need. it gives me the freedom to know that I can carry more, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Which sounds stupid, but I think it's a very genuine, kind of response to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, because the opposite is like what people think the solution is do less.
Right.
Oh, I just need to work less.
Right.
I just need to take time off. I just need to get away for a little bit. But it's like, really, our nervous system can handle more. It's just about retraining it to be able to let go what you don't need to hold on to,
right,
and then be able to take on more.
Don't get me wrong. Doing less sounds great, right? But I doing less is not an option in kind of my brain and my world and the way that I've grown up and all of that stuff. And so it's figuring out unique ways to carry the burden and not have it collapse you.
Yeah.
And so that's really why this was kind of an important exercise for me, is to kind of navigate through that approach.
Yeah.
And I think it's been beneficial.
Yeah. I do. Yeah. In 1 week.
Yeah.
1 week. Did you think that you would have as much noticeable change in 1 week? Right?
No. No. Like,
I'm not expecting miracles. Things take time.
I was like, I might get my neck popped or my back cracked a little bit, and like that always feels pretty
nice.
good, right?
Yeah.
I'm not, but at the end of the day, like, you go back into the grind and that stress kind of consumes you.
Right.
And what I can say is that the stress that I've been under this last week feels radically different, and it's not as viscous or thick, if that makes sense. If you've got to put like a tangible feeling to it, it feels a little bit more airy. It feels lighter, and I think mentally I'm able to process it differently. And so for me, that's beneficial.
Yeah, it's huge.
There's books out there like Let It Go and all of that stuff, and the reality of the situation is that mentally it's really hard to let shit go.
Right.
And so, I think this is really helpful in kind of resetting your ability to have perspective. And to own that perspective, right?
Brilliant.
And so that's probably the biggest benefit I felt from this.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I think when you feel better, your disposition is happier.
Right.
And so just, knowing that you're not in pain, whether it's for 45 minutes or 3 hours or 10 hours, whatever it is, you get that like little like bubble of like, how I'm not hurting, when I'm walking, when I'm standing, whatever, and I feel energized from that. Like you're able to give something back to the world that way, and I think that's pretty important.
Absolutely. And how do you notice that difference with like how you interact with your kids and with your wife?
Oh, I think it's more. It's fun.
Yeah.
Like I tend to have a pretty goofy personality when I'm not like, I think in a negative mental space, if that makes sense.
Right.
And so I found myself kind of playing around a lot the last couple of days. So it's kind of it's interesting to kind of go back into that.
Yeah. Kind of interesting to play, even though it's like you have a massive deadline.
Yeah.
Mike's like a company builder, right? So he bets big, works his butt off, builds incredible things, and like everything's on the line. So that's still the case, right?
That's never going to change. Yeah.
But then you can actually play with your kids, which is like, that's why we do it, right?
Yeah.
That's why we do the things we do.
100%.
So we can enjoy our kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love it. I appreciate the opportunity to come out here. I appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah. And then come to the workshop on Thursday.
Yep.
Yeah. Sweet. Okay, and Jill. I'm so excited to see Jill.
Yeah, that'll be good.
I haven't seen her forever.
That'll be good.
And so we pretty much booked out our one workshop that we have next Wednesday between 6 to 8. If you want to learn how to do the total nervous system reset at our workshop, comment below or message me. But we have spots on Monday, we have spots on Thursday, we have spots on Friday. I think Wednesday's booked up. But if you want to join us for 2 hours between 6 and 8 to learn how to reset your nervous system, hit me up. Get signed up. Any other final thoughts?
Come join us Thursday. It'll be fun.
Yeah, super fun. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, brother. Let's get to work.